People always ask me, why do you do this? And really, I think it's because you can't really buy what you learn at an ultra race. Here's my story and everything I learned running the entire Isle of Wight. 2 days before the race, we boarded the ferry, and obviously when you're on the ferry, you have to get out the car, you have to walk up the stairs, you can see where you're going. So I could see the island. It was the first time I really thought to myself, I am scared. On video, I look fine, but I actually could not speak.
No, it's actually long if you actually look at the island. It's pretty crazy. Now when you look at it, I feel sick. I actually feel sick.
And there was this deep fear in me. What if I'm not ready? What if I can't do this?
I kind of feel like when I looked at my Ironman swim, it was so far. Same with this.
So to experience that fear again, I knew what it was. It was this overwhelming sense of, I think I've signed up to something that's bigger than me. And the most incline I've done was on the bike, and that was 1,000 meters. This is 1,900 meters. Later that day, we ended up...
How the hell did we find a big Tesco? Who knew there'd be a Tesco on an island? And this big as well. What? Who brought all of this big?
We got into the Airbnb. It's absolutely beautiful.
This is the 96 kilometer. And we live up there. Up there.
I'm quite nervous. I think it's mainly because I don't know what to expect. I went to sleep with this fear of, I don't know. So Friday was meant to calm me down. Friday was meant to be a day of eating and a day of travel around the island. I had like 4,000 calories. I'll show you here. I had so much food. Deep down, did I think it was enough? Nope. Although I've never eaten this much in my life. We are about to drive around the whole island, kind of just to see the route that I'm taking and kind of see where my mom can stop. If I'm really honest, it actually made everything worse. Every road looked harder, every incline looked more steep, and when you're in the car, 2-3 hour journeys can really tire you out. So after we drove the island, we ended up picking up my bib.
Oh my gosh, I'm so nervous. I've never done anything like come close to this. I'm actually so scared. I also love my number. 1211. It's so amazing.
1211. A beautiful number that kind of just reminded me that I'm 21 doing this. It meant so much to me. In that moment, I realized that sometimes in my life, I feel like it's never enough, and I'm sure everyone kind of struggles with this. That you're never really pushing hard enough and you're not doing enough, but really we're enough the way we are. And everything that we do is just a cool addition. I got a jumper, which was beautiful. I really loved it. And then later that day, we ended up walking the beach.
Oh, mommy gave me a heart. So cute. Isle of Wight, are you ready? I've got a race to run tomorrow and I'm fucking scared, but who gives a shit? I can be scared and still do something that's extraordinary.
And just having a really chill evening until I got into bed and
I've just cried because I'm so scared and I have to wake up at 4:45.
How do you prepare for something you know is hard? How do you prepare for something that you know will challenge you mentally and physically? So it's the morning of the race. The longest run I've done in preparation for this is like 22k. So just because something stresses you out doesn't mean that it's bad for you. At the end of it, when you break through these things, there's something so much greater. And on that note, it's time to wake up. So then we drove to the race.
Day of the race.
We ended up getting there like 15 minutes before the race. It was literally like, bye guys, I'm going.
Bye.
And then it was a debrief straight away. And just quickly to point out, during the race, you follow these pink arrows and pink flags. And also you have these circle hazards. They basically mean you're about to die. There's a cliff edge. You need to watch out. That's basically it. So then I start to hit 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Let's go!
Even thinking about it now is making me emotional because I didn't know what was going to happen next.
Now, what the hell am I doing?
The pain started really early.
Okay, so we just started. Feels good. I'm not gonna say that already in pain, but...
And I think it's mainly because I was on the last day of my period to make matters worse. Unfortunately, it played a big part on me having to be super, super careful and super cautious of every step I'm taking. Every ligament was way more vulnerable. Landing wrong meant something could happen to my knees, something could happen to my ankles, and then I'm out for a very long time. You don't just get to switch off your mind. We'd be going from gravel to sand to concrete to a hill to grass. Like, you have so many terrains that you have to be careful of, and most of the terrain was very dry, which meant that it was really hard. So your shoe wouldn't sink into it, it would twist. So you're constantly twisting. Your ankles are literally like this. Your muscles are having to work in so many different positions that I don't think I really trained enough. Another thing I decided was, at the start of the race, I will have no headphones and I won't see anyone for 53 kilometers, which ended up being awful. Awful. I'm not sure if any of you ran for 8 hours with no music, but that is so hard. It's just there, you and your mind. And I did it for training purposes. I did it to train my mind. I did it to prove to myself that I can do something and I don't need any external stimuli, which is beautiful. It's a great lesson, but that doesn't make it easy. It doesn't make it easy at all.
I'm already like in my mind, you know.
Here's the thing about excuses. They are valid. They are real. You might be overworked. You might be in pain. You might be suffering. But what does that change? The world doesn't rearrange because of your excuses. It's not like the race is going to be shorter, oh, because I'm on my period, or because I'm suffering. This race is not going to be hard. It's still going to be hard whether the excuses are there or not.
Crazy, my morale was already low. I'm not even done a marathon yet. I eat marathons for breakfast. I say that I've done 2. 37 on my watch.
At some point, you decide, do I chase comfort or do I chase becoming the person I really want to be? The first time you quit, it might be hard, but the second time you quit, it's a little bit easier. Quitting then becomes easier and easier and easier until quitting just becomes who you are. But the same can apply to overcoming hardships. When you overcome hardship and you do it again and again and again, it just becomes who you are. This resilient, confident person that can push through anything. And that's kind of the person I want to become. Whatever life throws at me, I've got it. And I think that's one of the biggest lessons I learned at the start of the race. Excuses are there, they're always going to be there. But even though they're there, nobody cares. It's only you against you. So now I'm at nearly the halfway point.
This is hard. The sun's come out as well.
I'm not enjoying this at all.
Just done nearly 45 kilometers. What the fuck? Running to the midway point now, where I'm gonna finally see some friendly faces.
So you get to the halfway point and you see your loved ones, you're like, everything's gonna be great. But you don't realize you have to do everything you just did again.
What the fuck am I doing?
God knows.
What the fuck is this?
And this time it will be way slower.
I have to do another 50k. What the fuck am I doing? No one asked me to do
No one. This was your idea.
this. This is all my
So
idea.
now I'm at the halfway pit stop. This was my longest stop of the race. I think I stopped off for about 25 minutes. Before the race, I prepared another bag. So here's me switching everything out of my old bag into my new bag for the rest of the race. I ended up really hating the food they gave us, so I had to eat rice out of a bag. After stopping at the midway point and going again, I think I was around 70 kilometers. My parents pulled up in their car. There's a video actually of me and I'm walking downhill.
It hurts so bad, I can't even run downhill. I can't even walk downhill.
I had the most crushing realization.
I'm gonna have to walk the rest of us home.
My feet, my body is in so much pain that I can't run anymore. I can't jog anymore. So to put into context what walking 42 kilometers like, I'm a short person. I'm 155 centimeters. So I walk about 5 to 6 kilometers per hour. This race wasn't flat. So I was doing like 4 to 6 kilometers per hour pace, which meant that I have to walk for another 8 to 9 hours. So I remember getting to the pit stop at 73, laying there.
I just wanna cry. I really just wanna cry.
And I knew I had to do it. I know I couldn't let myself down. But I remember just holding my hand over my head and just saying.
It's just so hard.
Okay.
And like, it's not flat at all.
And I said to my family and I said to my friend, can someone just walk with me? Just for 5 kilometers. It's just going to be an hour of walking. And so my best friend who I looked at, she was wearing flip-flops.
Do you have other shoes?
Yeah. I was like, perfect, do you want to walk with me? I won't be going too fast. I just need some company. I've been alone for 73 kilometers of the race. It didn't take much convincing. She's a beautiful soul. She saw how much pain I was in and she came with me. And to put into context, my friend Alex has never run more than 5K. And her first 5K was 2 weeks ago. And just like that, with no prep, no fueling, she just came with me. Now that I think about it, I get really emotional because she ended up walking, running or whatever with me for 24 kilometers. I can't even explain how grateful I am for that. And for her to just show up like that for me and step up. This was a distance I've never done, but so hasn't she. She's never done anything like that. I was talking to her and I was loving it so much that we actually ended up taking the wrong route.
We just went the wrong fucking way. I'm so pissed. I said I'm not gonna do that the whole race, and then I did.
Fortunately, it wasn't too far off. It was about 1 kilometer, but that was that was scary. That was scary. But yeah, just like that, my friend stepped up. I learned what true friendship really looks like. So we are now about 85 kilometers into the race. To explain to you, the pain I had in my feet is if you pinch a part of your body like as hard as you can, grab it really small and pinch it as hard as you can. That's the pain I had in the bottom of my feet. It almost felt like tendonitis in my foot. I'm not sure if that's what it's called, but it was just so painful. And to know I had to walk another 3 hours with this pain.
Find some friends?
I did. I found a couple.
Good.
So then after a lot of pain, we got to 96. My friend was like, okay, I can't do anymore. I was like, girl, fair enough. So then I had the rest of the race to do alone. You get to the final pit stop, which is at 96 kilometers. Look at this. Like 96k.
This is the 96 kilometer.
Go on. But the worst part about the race is that they left the hardest incline to the end. You've now done all this race. You know you have another 2 hours plus the incline. You're thinking, how long is this going to take me? I'm meant to be on my final stretch. You know when you're on the final stretch of a marathon, it's 100 meters. It's at 1 kilometer. Final stretch here is 14 kilometers with the hardest incline of the race. And this is where I learned the most about mental toughness. I was alone. By now, all the runners are very spread out. So you don't see a runner for a very long time. You don't really see anyone. It's around 1 a.m. Everyone's sleeping. No one cares about this race because it's not like the London Marathon where everything is gated. It's a massive community of people. No one's cheering you on here. And I have this big philosophy in life where I think life is all about building references. And let me tell you what that means. There's two types of references. There's micro and macro references. A macro reference would be me completing the Ironman. That's a reference that I can always lean back on. And then we have a micro reference, which is I've just done this whole race. I've gotten up to here. I've struggled this much pain. Basically, I see references as bricks of a house and roots of a tree. And they are there to support you when a storm comes, when you want to quit, when things get hard. You can always refer back to these references. And I think it's so important for everyone in life to have these references that made them solid, that give them that solidity. In that moment where I just looked down and I was scared, there was no one around, I just thought to myself, you've done an Ironman. Come on, like you've just done all this race. And then I slowly started moving. I kept going. I kept referring back to these things that have got me this far and that I've already done, you know. And that was beautiful.
When you think you want to stop, there's more, man. There's more.
You look at your watch and it says 106 kilometers and you're not at the end. You know, you still have how long? You don't know how long this race is. And I remember after being alone for about 90 minutes and going through this suffering, I saw two headlamps and I thought, thank God. They saw me in a lot of pain, trying to take a step and another step, but the pain was so great. And I turn to them and I say, guys, do you have any advice? I'm really struggling. And they asked me the question, do you want to come with us? But it felt more like, just come with us. See how much you can run with us. And I get really emotional every time I say this. Like I try to hold this together. But one of the runners, James, he ended up giving me his hiking poles. I later found out that it was his first race. He told me this was his first race. And they weren't running either. They were walking. So by the end of the race, everyone's pretty much walking. In the moment of his greatest pain, near the end of the race, he decided to offer me his trekking pole. I know how much pain he was feeling because I was feeling it. Like without a question, he just said, here, just have these. I can see like you're struggling, you know? And I was in so much pain. And I know he was too. And I was just so grateful. I will never forget this like act of kindness. And I think these references can also build up beautiful belief systems that you have about humans. So for me, this was a beautiful reference to have, that humans help each other in the hardest times. So what I did with the hiking poles is they were too tall for me. I had to grab them midway and I would just like, boom, like I would ski. I would try to take as much pain from my feet. So then the next day I woke up with so much shoulder pain. You've already run 19 hours and you're like, how long left? How long left? what? You're looking at your watch and I'm already on 109, and I remember seeing in the distance the finish line, and the three of us just crossed the finish line together. I again just cried.
Well done, Vicky.
Okay, I'm gonna try now.
You can cry now.
Now you can cry.
I wouldn't really cry before, but I realized that like there's nothing wrong with crying, you know? It's just a beautiful thing to be able to connect to a moment and experience those emotions. So they started at different times than me, but I was grateful that we aligned, because if it wasn't for them, I still would have been walking. I always thought that to be hard, you have to do everything alone. It teaches you a lot, and it taught me a lot for a lot of the race. But this was a beautiful reference, a beautiful belief to have. There's nothing wrong with human help, a genuine human that wants to help. Some mistakes I made in the race was, one, I did no downhill training ever. I don't think I've ever ran down a hill. Two, I carried way too much water. I had 2 liters of water and all the stuff in my bag, and that was a big no-no. I was basically carrying 5 kg extra, which I decided at 73k, all this shit that I'm carrying, give it to my mum. Also, maybe training on different terrains. I usually just run on concrete, so maybe running on some grass would have helped. I'm also very proud of myself because I didn't quit. I didn't take any caffeine. There's so many positives, and I finished. At least I finished. And part of me also feels guilty because, and I know you guys are gonna say it doesn't matter, but part of me was really sad that I had to walk for so long. It doesn't discredit from what I did, but I wasn't expecting so much walking. And to be fair, I only signed up 18 days ago, so there wasn't much prep. So I'm just grateful I finished. And last thing I would like to say is thank you for everyone that has donated. This race was a training for the 24-hour Tough Mudder that I will be doing in June. And I'm currently fundraising for Save the Children. So these are all the people that have donated. I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. And the last person I'd like to thank is my past self. Thank you for signing up. Thank you for doing it. Thank you for completing it. Thank you for believing me. Thank you for just showing up. And to my future self, we're just getting motherfucking started. I'm out. I love you guys. Bye.
Thanks, guys. It's unbelievable. Thank you.